Justin Trudeau's continuing lies on the Omar Khadr deal. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. From the very beginning, Justin Trudeau has failed to tell the truth when it comes to this huge $10.5 million and an apology settlement with Omar Khadr. Now, news broke of this while Trudeau was in the air on his way to Ireland as part of the whole G20 junket tour that he was on. He was asked about it at his first press conference on July the 4th in Dublin. Here's what he said.
There is a judicial process underway that has been underway for a number of years now, and we are anticipating, like I think a number of people are, that judicial process is coming to its conclusion.
Now, if you listen to that answer, you would believe there was a judicial process going on. That would mean it's before the courts. He's not going to talk about it. But here's the fact. Trudeau already knew that this deal was done because he would have had to have approved it before he left. In fact, people that I've spoken to who have worked in the highest office in the land, in the Prime Minister's office in the past, say this would have been approved and talked about, signed off on at Cabinet, probably before Parliament even rose for its summer recess. So Trudeau wasn't being truthful with the Canadian public there. He could have simply said, we have arrived at a settlement. I can't talk about the details yet. We will talk about that when it is released publicly. We're not ready to do it. He couldn't do that. Now, he's still out there trying to sell us on the idea that he had to compensate Khadr because Khadr's rights were violated.
The measure of a society, of a just society, is not whether we stand up for people's rights when it's easy or popular to do so. It's whether we recognize rights when it's difficult, when it's unpopular. We are a society that stands up for people's rights, and when governments fail to respect people's rights, we all end up paying.
Now, here's another fact. Just because your rights are violated does not mean you need to be compensated with money. Lots of Canadians have their rights violated. Think of residential school survivors. Have any of them received $10.5 million? What was done to them in the name of the federal government, on behalf of the federal government? Have they received $10.5 million? No. What about the men and women in our military that go off and die for this country? Did they receive $10.5 million, or their families receive that money? No. Omar Khadr did, because Justin Trudeau has, fuzzy math, and he's trying to convince us that if we didn't settle for 10.5, it could have been 40 million.
If we had continued to fight this, not only would we have inevitably lost, but estimates range from $30 to $40 million that it would have ended up costing the government.
Now, I really don't know where he got that figure, but it's another lie. Let's put it this way. When Omar Khadr first launched his lawsuit, Paul Martin was Prime Minister, he launched it for $100,000. The Martin government's response was, this is an American matter. You want compensation? Go see the Americans. That was the Justice Department under Liberal Prime Minister Paul Martin. But now we've got this idea that a $20 million lawsuit, if successful, could cost us $30 to $40 million? How do you get to that? Even with lawyers' fees, it wouldn't add up. I've been covering Supreme Court cases long enough to know that it doesn't cost twice as much as the settlement to actually litigate a court case before the courts. And this $5 million that we've already spent on the Khadr file, Justin Trudeau wants you to believe that that's $5 million that we've spent fighting this $20 million lawsuit. Not true. My guess is that $5 million figure, if accurate, goes all the way back to the original lawsuit in 2004, encompasses the 2008 Supreme Court ruling, also encompasses the 2010 Supreme Court ruling, neither of which said the government had to compensate Omar Khadr. So Justin Trudeau is effectively lying all the way through. And because this deal is secret, and because this government, which says it's all about openness and transparency, won't tell us anything more, we can't actually challenge them on it with the facts. So they just get to blather on, tell us a bunch of lies, and hope this story will go away. Well, here's another fact. Real numbers. 71% of Canadians say they thought the government should have fought this. And thousands of Canadians are backing our appeal at SpeerKids.com to help Omar Khadr's real victims. So far, Canadian courts aren't helping Tabitha Speer or Elaine Morris, but we're asking for your help to raise money for the Speer kids. You can do that at SpeerKids.com. Whether you can donate $10, $10,000, you know your financial situation, Please go and give now. Turn the outrage that we all feel about this deal into something good. SpeerKids.com. And remember to share this on social media so that your friends, your family, your neighbors know that when it comes to this file especially, Justin Trudeau is doing nothing but lie to Canadians. If you like the Rebel video you just watched, make sure you never miss another one. Again, click here to subscribe.